Sie hören Sport und Musik.
It's John Brooks for the USA! Das Spiel ist aus! Deutschland ist Weltmeister!
In a world where fans fight over whether to call it football, or soccer, two German men defy the odds and call it Fußball. Bringing you inside the German-American football experience. And now, here are your hosts, the Schnitzel Boys.
I'm on the other side. That's unusual.
Oh yeah, you're on this side. Oh, because you're the first guy.
Because I was here first for once.
Oh, that's how it works. That means I get the German smoke.
Oh, you get the right. I'm on the American side. All right. That's fine. That's fine.
All
we
right.
can do it. We can do it like that.
Yeah, you had to touch.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome to Schnitzel Boys.
Yeah.
We're at our usual spot on a Monday night, as opposed to the Sunday afternoon that we were originally scheduled because of many factors. But we needed an extra day
to recover
from that crazy Germany and Spain game.
Oh my God.
Oh, so much.
These games take years. I don't know about you. I know we've established you're more flexible. You're more adaptable in your in your fandom. I'm like, I mean, you know, this is the I'm gonna keep stating it. What do
you mean flexible? What do you think that?
Well,
like,
no.
You know what? Screw it. I'm a Spanish fan now.
In this
never, not the World Cup.
In this context, I just mean, you know, like you're more of a U.S. men's national team. If you could pick one team, you would. Yeah, I mean, well, you got the shirt on. Anyway, we don't have to. This is not. We don't need to.
I'll concede. I do feel maybe a little stronger for the U.S.
I mean,
that's true.
Whatever. Not that this is even worth. You know, we don't need to compare. What I'm saying is, these are the kinds of. I mean, Germany, Spain. You hope, right? When you look at the schedule ahead of time before this World Cup, you think, well, hopefully we beat Japan, and this is the game where you play for winning the group, right? Germany and Spain are going to advance,
right?
And this is going to be for group victory. Now that's not what happened.
No.
We lost to Japan, and so backs are against the wall. Now we got a break from Costa Rica. Shockingly, Costa Rica beating Japan. Which that gave us a break, right? Because at that point it meant like we could not be eliminated that day. Because if Japan gets anything out of that game, and Spain wins, we're done, Dunsky.
But that's this World Cup, right? We're recording here on Monday night. Round 3 starts tomorrow, and as of right now, with 2 full rounds done, only Canada and Qatar have been eliminated.
Yeah,
Qatar because they don't belong, and Canada because of naivete. And all other teams are still alive. So round 3 is going to be. I love it, man.
And only on the flip side of that, what you're saying, only France, Brazil, and Portugal are already guaranteed to advance. That's also not a lot after two rounds. After 2 rounds. So there's still a lot to go. Yep.
It's gonna be round 3 is gonna be great. Like it's gonna be that thing where every goal, everything just changes. Like every goal that's scored, the table is gonna go whoop, 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 whoop. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. And that serves both Germany and the US because both of them could either be eliminated or both of them can still go through. Thankfully Costa Rica, but Costa Rica was just an example of that. Because other groups, that was also the thing. You know, Iran lost 6-2, and then they turned around and won 2-0. My alarm. And just every group is like wide open.
Yeah, we had two teams. Well, we had one team that lost by 6, Costa Rica. One team that lost by 7.
But Costa Rica lost by 7. Yeah.
Costa Rica lost by 7, and who lost by 6?
Iran lost.
Iran did. So,
Iran.
and both of them, I think Iran, right, is correct, not Iran. Iran.
The press conference today, the bonkers.
Oh, Tyler Adams got called out. Got called out for.
Called out. Those are fake journalists. I don't really want to talk about it because it's the Germany-Spain podcast. But like that press conference alone just infuriates me. They're like, you say Iran, it's pronounced Iran. What kind of journalist is that? Fuck that. In the United States, it's pronounced Iran. Okay? That's just what it is. Anyway.
Okay. Well, I've been saying Iran. Whatever.
I'm now determined. We can
just say Iran.
To say Iran.
Well, that's incorrect, though. But okay.
Not in USA town, baby. Around here, it's Iran. Anyway.
I don't think so. On Fox, they say Iran.
Fine.
Anyway.
Iran. It's hold on. If you want to pronounce it right, it's like this. Iran. And you have to say that.
Okay. Well, this is the same with Qatar. I mean, Qatar seems to be... There's an ad paid for by Qatar where they say Qatar. Then the correct one is Qatar. I'm sorry. It's, something like that. So anyway, but...
The Guitar Center.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. So, anywho...
lost by 7, lost by 6.
Oh yeah, and both of those teams came back to win their next games. That is really wild.
Saudi Arabia beat Argentina 2-1, and then it went on to lose to Poland 2-0, right? That second game or whatever it was. It's hard to remember all the results, but
these logic, these ideas where you're like, oh, if this team beats this team, and then this team beats this other team, then they should be better than none of that.
It's all out of the window.
It's all out the window. The African nations are doing better. Ghana beat South Korea today.
Two great games today with Cameroon and Serbia and Ghana. And
that game was wild. Cameroon came back from 3-1 down. So yeah, it's a wild World Cup, and so not everybody's gonna make it, even though almost everyone has a chance.
You've heard of the Wild West? Well, this is the Wild Middle East. Okay,
the wild
Middle East.
The wild Middle East.
Yeah. So I just love the fact that we're about to enter round 3, and it's just most teams are still in play. So good on everybody. 30
out of 32 teams can still advance. Not everybody, and so there's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of disappointment.
Including Germany. A friend of mine pointed out that this tie against Spain means if Germany gets through, likely it'll be on 4 points. It'll be second place, which is how the U.S. used to get through. And second place puts them in a really good part of the bracket. Like it avoids Brazil and Argentina.
Oh, interesting.
It puts them on a more favorable path. My really good friend is Spanish, so we were texting during the game, and then he said that you guys finishing second is actually going to put you in a better part of the bracket. And I looked at it, and I'm like, oh, he's right, because Spain winning is going to send them straight to the Brazil-Argentina half, and Germany getting second is going to send us. Our next opponent would be like a Croatia or a Morocco or something like that.
Well, so, we don't know. We don't know yet where Argentina's going to finish, right? Are they going to be first or second? We don't. That's true. There's still a lot of. Plus, a lot has to go well. The only way. I mean, for the U.S. it's clear. For the U.S. it's they don't have to look at anybody else.
Right.
They win, they're in. Anything else, they're out.
Right.
Very simple. For Germany,
they have to win, and
much more.
Spain does.
Well,
have to
Germany. I was texting someone. We do control our own fate. We can guarantee ourselves to advance, but we need to beat Costa Rica by 8 to accomplish that. If we beat Costa Rica by 8 goals, we are guaranteed to advance.
Is that true?
That is true.
If Japan and Spain,
Because if Japan beats Spain,
right, that's where
then we are
comes to play. Right?
We need to beat Costa Rica to have any chance. Obviously, if we don't beat Costa Rica, we're out. If we beat Costa Rica,
Bjorn, if we can't beat Costa Rica, we don't deserve to be at this World Cup.
Okay. I'm just saying. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Costa Rica have not looked good, even against Japan. That was certainly fortunate. The goal they scored, the Japanese keeper probably is going to be thinking about that for a while. He kind of mistimed his jump a little bit, and could have probably, if he looks at the replay, he feels like he should have saved it anyway.
Right.
I think you're right. You're absolutely correct. If we don't beat Costa Rica, we're out, and we have no one to blame. We've got no one to blame anyway. The Japan, we've played. I feel like well, anyway, we'll get into it. If not for the Dortmund defenders, we would be sitting quite pretty, I think. Anyway, so we beat Costa Rica. That's number one. But that might not be enough, because if Spain wins, it's enough, because then we're second. If there's a tie between Spain and Japan, at that point we need We need a 2-goal win to advance, because we're then even with Japan on goal differential.
So we need the +1.
So we need well, depending on how many, but we need the 2-goal lead to be sure. Now, if Japan were to beat Spain, which, who is to say?
They can. They definitely
Who's to say that couldn't happen?
Then we're out.
If
right?
Japan
that eliminates us.
Well, unless we win by 8, because then we are even. Then we're even with Spain. Then we need to. Make up Spain's goal differential, and they beat Costa Rica with 7. So, depending on however Japan, if we're assuming Japan wins by 1 goal, then we need 8. We need to make up that goal differential.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that's just flat out not going to happen. Costa Rica is bad. I mean, their great-grandkids are in the audience cheering them on, so I'm all about that. I love the fact that all the Costa Rican grandkids are cheering on their grandpas on the national team. And the great-grandkids and the great-great-grandkids for Keylor Navas's great-great-grandkids are there. But, 8 goals...
got it, though, man. Keylor Navas still got it.
For a team that can't... Germany doesn't have goals. Where are we going to get 8 goals from?
Füllkrug's going to get a hat trick. This is exactly his level, man. He's like Bundesliga. He's like Costa Rica, Bundesliga 2. That's the same. CONCACAF is like Bundesliga 2. I'm ready.
Even if
I hope he starts.
Hat trick, where are we going to get the other 5 goals?
He's going to get 3. We're gonna get 2 each from Gnabry and Musiala.
That's still not enough.
7. That's 7, and then we need. And then in stoppage time we're gonna get Sané is gonna get one off the bench. So that's gonna be 8.
All right, well, it's very thankful.
And then in the 13th minute of stoppage time, Costa Rica is gonna get one. Kendall Waston is gonna get a header from a set piece, and it's gonna be 8-1, and we're gonna be eliminated by that goal.
Kendall Watson sends us home. There's going to be posters of him all over Germany. Enemy number 1, Kendall Watson.
Anyway, so even if we win, we're not necessarily in. So anyway, that's the math of it. Now, that game. I mean, I was doing this, watching through the fingers. It was very stressful.
Wait a minute, let's talk Germany. So did you watch the game?
I did watch it. I was driving back from Vermont, and so I had audio and then sort of stuttery and delayed video.
Oh, so you were watching it while driving?
My page was driving.
I was going to say, you're in the back seat.
I made a special request. I'm usually the designated driver in this case. Right. I said, can you drive? Because I cannot. I will not be focused.
Well, overall, the game was freaking... You're right. Great. It was nerve-wracking as hell, but it was a great game. And Germany should have won. I'm going to boil it to number one. Musiala. The parallels between Germany and the United States are a lot. Musiala is our Christian Pulisic. Because, like, Musiala does this thing where he also tries to take on the world by himself all the time. He's pretty good at it. He's not bad at it. Probably better than Pulisic is. But then sometimes he's a little too selfish. For instance, in that breakaway with him on the keeper, he tries to beat the keeper as opposed to cross it over to Füllkrug.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, cross it over to Füllkrug. That's goal one. So that was a
Still a decent finish. That was a good save. He had agreed.
Pass it over to Füllkrug, man.
Agreed. I mean, for Füllkrug, it's a tap in for sure.
It's a tap in. That's a goal guaranteed. And we were down a goal at the time, so we needed a goal.
Yeah.
Imagine if Füllkrug to get the equalizer pushed Musiala out of the way and said, "Kid, this is how you."
I got this one. Yeah.
Welcome to the big league.
Füllkrug, he looks like he doesn't belong, right? Like, he looks like Uli said this is not his level, and we'll see. He scored that goal, so good for him. And I really hope he gets the start against Costa Rica, because we need. Yeah. I mean, it was the same for both teams. You saw it for Spain too. Spain had this whole false nine thing going on, and then they bring in Morata and score, and then we bring in Füllkrug and score. Like, there's all this. You just need somebody in the middle, I think. I mean, I think there's, a lot of people like to talk about the false nines, and I think it's so much easier to have somebody who is just your Knipser. And so I hope Füllkrug is that guy, even though he definitely looks like the journeyman that he is. But
but he finishes. You see him there kick. He's like, "I'll kick this."
Yeah,
boom,
and that was our only goal in open play so far. Yeah,
so far. I'm telling you, Füllkrug is going to be our Toto Scalacci. That's what I'm. He's going to be our He's going to be our song of the summer, player of the winter or whatever, and he's going to, because I tell you, I don't know what's going on. Like, okay, let's talk Germany for a second, or for the next full podcast. Like, he put out this new lineup. Kehra's playing. The back was whatever. It was fine. But then you got Muller as the 9. Hold on. We'll talk about that in a second. You got Muller as the 9. And then Gundogan as the 10. Gundogan is the 10. And then Serge Gnabry in the right wing. And Muller and Serge Gnabry just offer nothing, especially Serge Gnabry. I'm like, what the hell happened to Serge Gnabry? Where did Serge Gnabry go? And then they keep miscommunicating. So yeah, they took Muller off and they put Füllkrug on, and that was a big help. That right there got us the point. And then they put Zane on,
and he played well, yeah.
And he played really well. It's like, this guy, I think he had a knee injury or something, but it's like, if he's good to go, then he should be starting. Because Zane really was a breath of fresh air on the field, wasn't he? He held the ball well. He agree. He got that great crossing at the end, which seemed to maybe be a little out of bounds. But he almost got us that winner right at the end. Oof. And it just makes you think, where's Muller? Where's Gnabry? Why are they not showing up? And also, shouldn't Goretzka be the number 10? Why is Gundogan our number 10?
Well, that's what he was, no? Didn't he play, or he was...
Goretzka and Kimmich were holding mids, and Gundogan.
So the Goretzka played behind Gundogan?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, that's what the lineup was. The lineup was Neuer in goal, Kehra right back, and then Süle and Rudiger in the center,
Rudiger in the middle, Raum on the left.
Kimmich and Goretzka. Then Gundogan with Musiala and Serge Gnabry in the wings, and Muller as the 9.
It was I thought it was interchangeable. Like, I thought those midfielders were kind of... Either Gundogan was sometimes further back, Goretzka further up.
I think there's a lot of interchanging, but it's not Gundogan up top.
I think that's a great. I mean, however you're going to designate these positions. I think that is the midfield to me.
Oh yeah, me too.
I think those three, however you break it down specifically, where they all go, I think that is the midfield, and I think that's great. The front line, the Müller thing, I was like, oh, he's going with his Bayern guys, except they usually have a 9. You know, they used to have Lewandowski. Now they have Chuba. You know, it's like it's the Bayern front 5 but only 4 of them. So
Yeah.
it's
But
yeah.
also less effective. The
I
amount of
didn't.
turnovers and
I
missed
didn't like it.
passes. It's like you guys know it. Like you guys know each other. What the heck's going on here?
It's like there's a lot of there's a lot of talent in this group. But we have not found what the lineup is exactly. Hansi Flick does not really know who is. I don't know. Does he know right now who's going to be the starting 11 for Thursday? I don't think so.
Well,
I think
I think. I mean, unless he's going to tinker, I think the starting 11 is relatively clear. At least 10 on 11. You know how the U.S. has the MMA midfield? Well, I think Germany has their GGK midfield. Okay, it's GGK. It's Goretzka, Gundogan, and Kimmich.
Yeah, that's what I think it should be.
So 4-3-3 GGK, which I agree. Those 3 should be on the field. I would want to put maybe Goretzka more in an advanced role and Gundogan in a more reserved role.
I'm not. I guess we'd have to. You know, they have some of those like passing maps or the positional. I'd have to see. I'd be interested in looking that up actually, where they were in relation to each other.
Yeah.
Goretzka and Gundogan. Anyway, but yeah, totally.
Füllkrug
in the middle.
Füllkrug starting
And then-
9 up top, and then on the wings,
Musiala and
Sané. Right? It's got to be.
Sure. I'm
Gnabry,
okay with that.
Muller, sit on the bench. I don't know. We're depending on you, and you failed. So, like, sit on the bench
Yeah.
and come off as a spark. I don't know. Get your act together.
Sané. I could see Kai Havertz also on the left.
Right. I can see that too. And Kai Havertz coming off the bench.
With
for
combining with especially on the left side because David Raum has been so good, like really has
Right.
been great in
David
both.
Raum's been great.
Has been a great fullback. One of the better fullbacks of the tournament. That might be pushing it,
Great.
but he's been very very good. So you know, you can go on that side with somebody who's a little bit more of an inside winger, you know, like Havertz would be, and I think that could be interesting. We had, I think, against Japan in the first half, there was a lot of good things happened offensively with these very fluid attackers that are switching positions and coming at the defense very centrally. I thought that had a lot of promise. I think there's so much good stuff happening in this team. However, it has not really come together. Like, it hasn't quite clicked fully. And so
Germany has had this issue now since 2017 where they still know how to hold the ball. They got that. But when it comes to the creative third, the final third, they just always miscommunicate. They can't figure it out, and they have no ideas. That's just what I see. And they just never ever. They used to be this high-ass scoring team. Remember the 2010 World Cup? It was 4-0. They just scored and scored. They just knew how to score goals. They were just on and on all about. Then one day that just stopped. And literally it's been 5 years, and they still haven't gotten back to it. They haven't scored more than 2 goals in any game that I remember. They're a low-scoring team now all of a sudden.
I mean, I'm not comparing when I'm saying there's good things happening. I'm not comparing them to 2010, 2014. Compared to 4 years ago, I feel like there is, and even the Euros, I think there are some sparks. I think the midfield is better. I think that's a huge thing. The GGK midfield, I think has so much potential, and I think the midfield's been really great in both games. It's just, at the front line, it didn't quite come off. Although I do feel like a lot of stuff is happening there too. Musiala seems like on the verge of having a multi-goal game. He's in such good positions. He's got. His finishing isn't really even terrible. It hasn't happened yet, and
Musiala has the potential to be
a breakout player,
to be the next like Cristiano Ronaldo almost.
Yeah,
like he's got real talent,
and I think David Raum has been a revelation. He's really has that fullback spot locked down on the left side. I think the midfield's great, and then I think Rüdiger's been very good, and I think.
Zula and Kehrer and Schlotterbeck, that's been our weakness.
That's
Those are our
that's a
weaknesses.
problem. Yeah, I mean, I thought Kehrer was
Zula-
okay. I thought Kehrer was better as a. I would bring him back before I would try Zula again in that position. I thought
Zula's been
Zula
involved with all 3 conceding goals.
Yeah, and he made. I was texting somebody. He made Morata look like a proper striker. You know, he could like hit the broadside of a barn for a lot of his. I mean, he's been very good this whole tournament. So no, not looking to knock Morata, but you know, come on, like, he was caught napping there. He made a run on him, and yeah, it's too bad. And then Schlotterbeck, I would happily not see again this tournament. That guy scares the fucking crap out of me.
Well, hold on. He came off the bench and he was good because
he was good.
He worked his butt off. He's like, I can't be. Schlotterbeck was the worst player of our game, and he cost the win. Just like how Zimmerman cost the tie. Again, the parallels. Schlotterbeck is our Walker Zimmerman. So Schlotterbeck came off the bench today, and you saw he had the same exact play from last time, remember? But he ran his ass off, and he made sure to actually do a good job.
It's not that he doesn't. It's not that he's not a hard worker. He's always has a high work rate. He's very fast. He scares the fucking crap out of me. He's such a loose.
He was really
I mean,
lazy
he made up for he made up for a couple of mistakes that were his own in the time that he came off the bench. I don't know.
Who would you rather have in the back for Germany?
Yeah, I mean, good question. I think
or Walker Zimmerman.
I don't think I watched a little bit back of the England-US guy. I don't think Zimmerman was as bad as you said, actually. But
I'm just saying in general. No, I agree. I might have to.
No,
take
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
This is just a fun little thing. Who do you want back? If you could choose, if there was like FIFA called and been like, good news, you'll have to play.
Honestly, I take Zimmerman. I take Zimmerman over Zula.
Over Schlotterbeck?
Over Schlotterbeck?
Over Zula, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Sure?
Maybe.
I don't know, man. I definitely take Tim
Reed.
I think he plays on a heartbeat.
I think he plays within himself, more than those guys do. I think those guys have a higher ceiling. They're better passers than he is, both of them. Zul is much faster than Zimmerman, and so they have that going. But like they are just frightening. It's like they just are error.
Yeah.
They and so I think right now I would play Bella Kotchap. Actually, I would try the Rüdiger Bella Kotchap duo, because I would think that he would be similarly kind of safety first. And
I'm down for that too, by the way. I think it's time. The other guys aren't, like you said, they're not covering themselves in glory. So put the kid on. Put Bella Kotchap on. I think Germany overall just needs a little new blood. So Bella Kotchap, he's playing for Southampton. He's young, but he's on there for a reason. He earned his spot through quality.
And he's been really good for Southampton this year. It's been very, very solid. And so, these Dortmund defenders are killing us. So I agree.
I say bench him and play Bella Kotchap and Kehrer.
I wouldn't mind. And Kehrer, at least he's an actual right back. And I think he had some moments. He's not the left side is going to be stronger, but yeah, I guess that would be my lineup. I would go Raum, Bella Kotchap, Rüdiger, Kehrer, the GGK, and then I would go Havertz, Füllkrug, and Musiala. That'd be my 11.
So you chose Havertz over Sané?
Yeah, although, that's a little bit 6 and 1, half dozen. The other, I think, I would be fine with Sané. Be fine with Sané as well.
Best player on the field, by the way. I thought for the 15 minutes
for the time that he came out. Yeah,
it was like, where's that been? And he opened up the attack, and he made the attack happen. The creativity showed up all of a sudden, and now we had 2 different goal opportunities from Sané. I think there right at the end. And it's like, we need more of that, because Serge Gnabry is supposed to be doing that. But Serge Gnabry is not great right
It's
now,
not
right?
hasn't not is not
It's a
is
shame
not in the
because he
same
was
form.
it's
Yeah.
the same guy who scored 4 goals against
Yeah, he
Tottenham
was
in one
very
game
good.
last
Right, he
year,
was
right?
very good. It's in spurts. Yeah, but right now, there's no, there's no. This is it. I mean, I still, yeah, they got to figure it out quick. I think there is that potential. I think they could. I'm not saying this team's going to win the tournament or anything like that, but I think they have more potential than the last team did 4 years ago, or even 2 years
Right.
ago. Like I said, at the Euros, I think the midfield, like I said, the midfield's more settled. We have better fullback options now than we did then. The attack has, it's just Musiala alone is a difference maker potentially, and so I think I can see two scenarios. I can see this team like sort of figuring it out, coming together. Things are clicking, and they make a little bit of a run. But also, if it's now or never. If they can't figure it out on Thursday, then it's
It's funny. I'm in the same boat. Like technically, 4 years ago, they were in a better spot. They beat Sweden, so they were at 3 points.
Yeah.
and they had Korea coming up. Costa Rica is maybe not the same formidable opponent as Korea, but Germany this time only has 1 point.
no, that's true.
So
This,
but I feel better about this team than the one from 4 years ago.
yeah,
Because this
No.
team, and it was a lot of the same, right? 4 years ago, when they lost against Mexico, they had a big clearing of the air meeting among the players, which failed. I don't think anything about that's
Right.
ever happened. That now, 4 years later, after they lost to Japan, they had another. They bitched about each other in the press, which is always a bad idea. And that was a whole thing in Germany where, like, was it Gundogan called someone out, or they called each other out by name in the press, which is bad. That's an unhealthy locker room. And then they had a players meeting. They had to clear the air meeting again, just like they had 4 years ago. Literally, it's like the same play-by-play. And then they played Spain, but you saw the way they played Spain. They played hard, and they really went for the game. And especially Kimmich. You saw Kimmich coming out there. Yeah. And
and he could have.
was
He
all
almost
about it.
scored a goal.
He
had
almost
that,
scored a goal.
Yeah,
And
the
Kimmich was interviewed on Fox Sports. They did a little preview with him or whatever. His English was pretty good. And they had a little video. And then also on Fox Sports, Hansi Flick was interviewing with German TV on the field like 20 minutes before kickoff. And the Fox News crew was just looking at him and be like, look, Hansi's talking. They're like, what's he saying? And they're like listening and stuff like that. I just want to say it seems like the attitude is a little better. Like this locker room does not look as fractured. I hope, knock on wood. I think they're more on the same page. And you saw how they played against Spain. They played well. And I think they're going to go out with Costa Rica with the same fervor. They're going to go out there to get it.
They need to get it together. I had higher hopes for Hansi Flick as a coach. I think he's been a little, I don't know, like he's still figuring out who is his
He didn't
who
do
his
his
people
subs till
are.
late.
He's what?
Yeah. He didn't do his subs till late. Like Spain had
Subs
3 or 4
were
subs
late,
done, and he was still waiting.
This time the subs were good. Against Japan, I felt like his subs completely broke up the flow of the game, and
Right. So his lineup by
didn't
the way.
work. And his lineup,
wasn't
like it's been sort of a struggle for him. So everything is, there's a lot of potential. It hasn't clicked yet, and it needs to
Thomas
fully.
Muller probably
needs
needs
to
to sit on
fully
the
click.
bench, right? I think he needs to bench.
I think
Muller.
so. I mean, I don't think he, and not because he's been particularly terrible, but just because there's other better options that are younger and hungrier, and it's not gonna work with this like, oh, I'm gonna, the Bayern block or whatever. I'm just gonna go with my guys. Like that's not it. Like he needs to play the people that are going to do it. And I mean, and he's running out of time to figure it out. But I do like this. I do like this team. I do think the potential's there. But this could also be, you're right. The math was different then, but it's also the same. It's the same kind of. It's an attitude thing too. Because I remember 4 years ago, it was like no question.
Right.
Like to me. It's like, we're going to lose to South Korea. No, we're going to advance. Like, it wasn't even, we'd never not done it. And I wonder if there's a little bit of that now, too. It's like, oh, it's Costa Rica. Come on, And
Yeah, I mean, I hope not. 4 years
Spain's
ago,
going to beat
Spain's going
to beat Japan. We're going to beat Costa Rica, and that's going to be that. I think that could be.
Gotta believe.
I think. Well, you got to believe, but you can't believe too hard.
Hold on now. It's the season of believing. That's the difference. 4 years ago was summertime. Now this is a Christmas World Cup.
Christmas is the season of believing.
Yes, it
believing
is.
in the.
It's about believing. Santa.
Believing in Santa.
Have you ever seen Polar Express? The great movie Polar Express?
I have not.
What? It is a Christmas tradition. This year,
Die Hard is my Christmas movie.
Well, in Die Hard, the Germans lose. Okay, in Die Hard, the Germans lose. In this scenario, the Germans win. Okay, in Polar Express, which is a must-see, take your kids to the IMAX, watch it in 3D. It's a beautiful Christmas movie. But the whole point of the movie is believe. That's it. So this is a season of believing, and Germany's got to believe. You know, I agree. I've seen this played out so many times before. I could easily see Germany go out to Costa Rica way too cocky, and Costa Rica just win.
It's not about it's about humility. I think more than belief. Yeah. I think for at this point, you know, the golden era is over. Like it seems, you know, and I think we still went into this tournament thinking, oh, that was a fluke 4 years ago. I mean, it could happen.
Yeah. We're in a weird funk with our roster. We have a
I think it's
our rosters were an embarrassment of riches, but now we don't have an embarrassment of riches anymore. We're like
especially defensively. I think that's not. It's just not a good defensive team.
What's missing in the Bayern? Like you think on paper, the German national team has the Bayern offense, but they're missing one key ingredient this time and last time for years. And what's that ingredient?
The 9, the Knipser.
Lewandowski, and now Choupo-Moting or Sadio Mane. Like Bayern München has those players where it's so effective. A German national team is like a Thanksgiving meal without the turkey. It's like we'll just try it with all the fixes. So
it's got to be Füllkrug. But that's the thing. That's the thing about it, in my opinion. That number 9 doesn't even have to be great.
Right, because they
2014 Klose wasn't great. He was decoy most of the time, but that's fine. Yeah. It's fine. You just need somebody to occupy defenders and make the runs, and So I hope that Hansi sees it the same way and that he starts. I would have probably brought Moukoko ahead of Füllkrug if we're just going with the next generation.
Before Füllkrug scored that goal, I was all about Moukoko being our starting.
Yeah, man. but now you know, now it's he went with Füllkrug. He scored, so well done. And now that's it. Now we're gonna go with it. And that's what I would do. I would make a couple changes, and I think we gotta cut down those individual defensive errors. You know, we're giving up these cheap goals, but hopefully that's not going to happen against Costa Rica, and we're going to win comfortably, and it's all going to be okay.
Believe the season of belief. I hope this locker room is healthier than they were a few years ago.
Who knows? I mean, it's hard to say. People were making fun of that gesture of the.
Did you say? I tweeted this out. I've been very active on Schnitzel Boys on Twitter. Follow us.
Very good.
So the Qataris, did you see what the Qataris did in response?
No.
No, during the Germany-Spain game, there were a bunch of Qataris holding all the photos of Mesut Özil, doing this at the Germans. They had a protest response to Germany's protest, and I'll tell you. I'll bet $1 million that was organized by the World Cup organizing committee. It's like I don't think
this wasn't a spontaneous. This wasn't a grassroots spontaneous.
No, but those great Qatari soccer fans we all know and love. No, I think the World Cup organizing body paid or organized their fans to do a protest against one of the competing nations, which to me is grossly unethical. Like, can you think of a time that's ever happened? I know we're only talking on the field, but off the field, this World Cup has just gotten more and more bonkers. The USA-Iran press conference. Don't even get me fucking started on that. That fucking infuriated me. I don't know if you saw that. All the Iranian
I
sponsored
did not.
media. Oh, it was ridiculous. One of the questions was, "Hey, Greg Berhalter, how come you didn't tell the Navy to move the naval ship out of the Gulf?" I'm dead serious. That was one of the questions.
Okay.
And then Greg Berhalter would be like, "I'm a soccer
What happened?
coach. I
What
don't know
happened
the hell you're
to?
talking about."
What happened to stick to sports? I thought we're supposed to just stick to sports.
I know FIFA. Hello. What the hell? Take all
guess
the
it all-
Iranian press credentials
I
away.
guess
The
it all
Iranian
depends.
press.
I guess it all depends.
And then
I mean-
the great viral video with like Tyler Adams. This is how you say Iran, which is ridiculous to scold a player as a journalist. And then he's like, "And how do you feel about American treatment of black people?" That was the question. And then,
Right. Yeah, I saw
which is
that. I just saw a
inappropriate.
But
that was lowball. It got way bigger than that. One question was, how come Iranians? He talked to Greg Berhalter. He's like, how come Americans don't need a visa to visit Iran, but Iranians need a visa to visit the United States? That was his question. And again, Greg Berhalter's like, "I'm a soccer coach, but I don't know what to tell you. I don't know." All their questions were just about how America's this terrible place, and like there were all these gotcha questions, one after another, and I'm just like, FIFA, do something. Like, what the hell is up with you?
What is
Like,
FIFA supposed to do? Yeah, I mean,
But take their press credentials away. FIFA also, like, if I'm the president of FIFA, I'd
censorship.
Be livid
You're advocating censorship.
well, I'm advocating for there to be a little bit, like, I understand there's freedom of speech or whatever, but there should be, if you keep asking, FIFA has a policy where they're apolitical, right? So if you have all these press guys paid for by the state to go to your press conference and make sure it's political,
Well,
then
that's
what kind
I
of
mean,
policy do you have?
That's your assumption. That's what's going on. I mean, I'm not saying it's not.
Assumption. My correct assumption.
But
One journalist asked this question. He's like, "What percentage of the world do you think will want the U.S. to win versus what percentage of the world do you think we want Iran to win?" That was a question of Greg Berhalter. And then
what did he say?
again, I want to see. I got this all from Twitter. I want to see the frickin' footage of this. Why can't we watch the press conferences? Sometimes we can see them, sometimes we can't. I think it depends on if a press place streams it or not. I really want to see it. And I'm dying to say, I don't know what he said. I think he's just said, "I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know." But like, I would love to. I want to see this press conference so bad. It's going to infuriate me so much.
Well, it's Iran. It's Iran against the USA. There's so much history there. Obviously, there's always going to be some.
Yeah, because of them. I mean, I could have been if I was there, I would have been disastrous. I'm like, why are you selling Russia? Why are you selling weapons to the Russians? How about that? Anyway, why are you beating women to death on live TV? I'm allowed to ask questions too, right? Or whatever. I don't know. I don't want to get into it too much. But what I'm saying is, with the Qataris and their coordinated effort to protest the German national team during the Germany-Spain game, in a game that their team isn't competing against. I don't love that. Doesn't that make you? That pisses me off. Like, that's so unethical. Imagine,
well, if it is organized by the people, yeah, then it is. I mean, there's a lot of
Oh no, you're right. It's an independent fan. There were all these older dudes.
I mean, you can also
It's grossly unethical. Fuck that place. You need more examples to say fuck off. It's another one. One of many, man. Fuck that place.
All right.
I mean, that's my.
I don't want to equivocate that. Like, for sure, yeah, fine. But like, I'm also, the German.
What's the protest? Like, they put up pictures of Mesut Ozil and cover their mouth.
Well, I think Mesut Ozil, he made the case. He had that. When he retired, accused.
That was 4 years ago.
Yeah, he accused the German FA of being basically,
racist.
him getting basically racist because he's a Muslim.
But they had an inquest, and then the higher ups all had to step down. Like I said, it's been done. It's not like that's
nobody
again.
stepped down for the Ozil thing.
There was a big inquest after the tournament, and then they were essentially called to arms about their criticism of Ozil. I mean, I guess I don't know.
Well, okay.
Anyway, you're right. Maybe they could have dealt with it better. But the reality is, like,
I mean, that was a very well. Anyway, if we want to go back in that was a very complicated
right
situation where certainly some of it, he made some valid points. At the same time, he also was like kind of was a little self-serving. Is the way he portrayed it, and he got very little support from his teammates, which also sort of indicates that
fractured locker room.
That people were not really, quite on his side with all this stuff. Anyway,
riddle me this though.
Okay,
how many Turkish players were involved with that whole thing 4 years ago?
What? You mean with the president? Yeah, it was Gundogan and Özil. Yeah.
Who was on the field yesterday?
Ilkay.
So, like, they're doing this whole protest about Mesut Özil. Meanwhile, Ilkay Gundogan is playing for a team, so I don't really know what the deal is. Like, I don't. All I'm saying.
Oh, in terms of right. Well, I mean, obviously, it doesn't have to make sense. The whole thing. Because
they had nothing. They were just trying to find a way to fight back, and the World Cup organizing committee made sure that they protested against Germany protesting against their thing. Because again, the whole issue is over Germany being able to wear a rainbow, and Qataris hate rainbows because they're the worst people in the world. So they organized this thing. So they go, yeah, how about you being racist to this dude from 4 years ago? Who again?
To me, this whole if we want to get there, I mean, I guess we're into it. So this whole rainbow armband situation is embarrassing for everyone involved. I feel like, because it's of course it's ridiculous of FIFA to have this.
Involved. What? It's embarrassing for the people who want to wear it.
I mean, it's such a corporate weak sort of nothing statement. One love, like, what does it even mean exactly? Like, it doesn't stand for anything.
I agree with that.
So it's this very sort of vapid, like, it's like sort of one corporate approach versus another, and they all, nobody has really any real it's also empty, and then in the end it just falls apart. I don't know. It's kind of embarrassing for all involved.
I see what you're saying, but, like, what does it say if this soft-ass corporate gesture is too much? You know what I mean? For one half.
No, like, listen. No, I'm not defending. Much? I'm not defending FIFA, and Qatar. This whole thing is a shit show. Like, it was from the beginning. I'm not defending anybody, but it's also it struck me as a little. It's not. I'm not. This is not a kind of. It's not a. I'm not equivocating it. It's not a whataboutism kind of a thing. Obviously, these are not the same. It's not the same level of offense. But I still think it's a little stupid the way they went about it. It was kind of uncoordinated. Every European nation had sort of their own approach to it. The French immediately dropped it. The English kind of back and forth. The Germans did their.
The Belgians criticized the Germans. And
the Belgians made fun of us for losing. Eden Hazard. It's like you should win the game and not So it's like it's a.
I hope they get eliminated. I hope they eat a dick and die. But Manuel Neuer wore it under his sleeve, by the way.
Okay.
The photos came out where he was wearing the one band anyway.
But it's all it's all these, like, sort of. It's these. Are these protests more trouble than they're worth? I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. It's like, you want to make some kind of a statement, but then you don't really want to make a statement because you're still there and doing the thing. So, then maybe you can just eat your own dick and, like, just focus on playing the tournament and not have these distractions. I don't know. There's no.
Are you paid for by FIFA, Bjorn? Did FIFA?
I'm not. This is what I'm saying. I'm not like you're. I'm not saying this is not a whataboutism kind of thing. It is a shit show. but then how do you deal with it? You know, they make this is a minor skirmish. It's this press conference thing. I don't know if you've heard about that. The Germans have, you know, as you've pointed out, they are the furthest away from where the action is. Their team hotel is like 70 miles or something.
North.
And so the Germans wanted the press to come to them for a press conference. And then FIFA said no. And then Germany said, well, then we won't make any players available because it disrupts there. And so now they're getting fined. I don't know. Is it worth it? It's like, it's just stupid.
What I will tell you, though, is if these press conferences are pretty dang stupid. So, like, I don't know if there's a lot for them to talk about. Or do it via Zoom. I don't know. Also, it's only an hour away. It's a tiny country. Just go to the thing. I don't know.
It just seems a little like, it seems like this is not, these things are not super well thought out. The same thing with the U.S. and this social media thing with the Iranian flag, and it's like
just blown way out.
It's kind of. Yeah, okay, sure.
Well,
I don't know. It's
right.
like, the thing is, I guess here's what I'm trying to say.
There was no point to do it. The flag guy should not have done it. U.S. Soccer should just put out the regular flag, the FIFA flag, the UN flag, whatever the Iran flag is. That's the end of it. It's the same. I wonder if it's the same schmuck that tweeted out that Trinidad thing from 4 years ago. Remember before the Trinidad game?
Oh, the flood. The flood. Oh, yeah.
And U.S. Soccer is like river to thing, like making fun of the Trinidadian facilities, and they got major backlash from that. I wonder if it's the same dipshit who's doing. It's like U.S. Soccer social media. Relax. This is what I'm saying. It's like, it's, you know, like, we are very used to social media. We're used to this, like, these echo chambery kind of communities where people just, you know, say these things, and it's like really without consequence. Like, oh, of course we're against this, we're against that. We're like, this is not that. For better or worse, the stakes are higher. This is like actual. This has geopolitical impacts. These, you know, this is. It's not. It doesn't just happen on Twitter. It doesn't just happen on Reddit. Right.
You know, and so then I guess you just gotta up your game a little bit and just be a little thoughtful about how you go about this stuff, versus just really kind of being like, oh, we should do something, and so that's what I'm saying. Not to say I'm not a. What's that? Okay.
I agree with you. Right. I think there was just some intern being an idiot, and that good dude should be fired or something. You know, it's like U.S. Soccer. Right. It's Nico Cantor had a long thing about it. He said the same thing. He's like, there are geopolitical things. It's like this is a World Cup. Things are sensitive. It's like you need to be more mindful of how you behave. And he's right. And then there was this whole back and forth between him and Grant Wall and using the term woke. And all the journalists just went at each other. They talked about this flag all fucking day. And I was like over it after minute one.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, from a journalist perspective, it's very easy. Journalists can, you know, they say all kinds of things all day long, but
it was on CNN.
But for the players, you know, they're not there. It detracts. It detracts from their own, and I guess that's not to say they shouldn't do it. Obviously, this is a shit show. There's a lot of stuff to criticize and to make a stand towards, and I'm not saying stick to sports. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying pick your battles in a way.
Pick your battles, but those are two different things. U.S. Soccer fucked up by making something happen. Right. And what about kind of like Grant Wall gets criticism because he knows they're taking rainbows away, so he covered himself in rainbows and went to the stadium for an Instagram story, and it worked. You got on the Guardian and shit, and that's setting yourself up for failure. That's like,
but he's a journalist. He doesn't have the game to play. If he's not let into the stadium, that's fine.
However, the difference between the rainbow thing is the fact that you're going to wear them. It's not like you said. It's a corporate empty statement. It's just we support everybody, and then to get there, FIFA's like. Just to let Qatar is like, we're very clear here. We do not support everybody, and you will follow.
Right.
That if I'm the captain of a team, I say fuck that. You know what I mean? I know we have a game to play, but I don't want to be told like that's different. That's apples and oranges to me. That's being like we're not allowed to wear rainbows because we're not allowed to support the LGBTQ community and everybody. I'm like, I don't want to comply with that. Fuck that. I'm allowed to. Well, also, who cares what the color of my captain's armband? Is that really that big of a deal? You know,
Right.
That to me, that's apples and oranges. Like I understand the whole U.S. soccer. Just tweet the regular flag. Don't create something where there isn't anything to be created. Don't put your fists up. You know, don't start the fight. But wearing the color the rainbow armband, which they've been wearing all qualifying, and is a stance that they're very proud of. If then FIFA and Qatar are telling them you can't do that because we're not as accepting here, and we're going to remove that from you, that's different. That's FIFA starting the fight, not the teams. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
to me, that's why it's a little bit that
I think
I'm in favor of that, but I'm not. The other thing, you're right. I'm less in favor of that. The other thing, I'm like, don't start something that doesn't even start it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that's a different. It is on a different level, but I think I guess I don't even have a prescription at all. I guess I was just struck by that idea that these guys. Grant Wall is there to report, and he makes a stand, and if he gets kicked out, who cares? But these players are not there. They're there to.
Right.
They're not. Yeah, they're not. They don't. It's a lot for them to ask to make up for the failures, really, of the FAs and the governing bodies that let this happen, and. I guess I feel bad for them. I guess it's more than anything. I feel that's a difficult spot because there are real consequences. Not like you just say stuff and that's it. It's I bet it weighs on them, and so
right.
That is something that has an impact,
negatively or positively. Yeah, and I'm hoping the German mindset's still pretty positive because they've been pretty, I hope it's very positive. The Germany-Spain game, by the way, was like the highest rated German national team game in years.
Oh,
I think like 20 million.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot.
There
was a lot riding on it.
What I'm saying is Germany is doing this whole fuck Qatar thing and and boycotting. And I watched this German vlogger who I love, and he just did a vlog. He went back to Germany for Christmas, and he just did a vlog from the Deutsches Fußballmuseum in Dortmund. And I need to go. Next time I'm going to Germany, I'm going because it is a beautiful ass museum full of memorabilia stuff. It is a sojourn for the Schnitzel boys, so I'm going to go. But his good friend there, who's a big soccer fan, was on camera being like, I'm not watching this World Cup. I love soccer, but and he's like, why? He's like, fuck Qatar, fuck the FIFA mafia. I'm boycotting Qatar. So there is, especially in Germany, I think probably stronger there than most places. There's very much a sentiment of like, I'm skipping this one. So for Germany and Spain to get a super high rated game means they're like, you know what? It's like, never mind. It's like we're supporting our national team. They have to watch, and they watched. And the Germany-Spain game got, like I said, 20 million viewers, which in Germany is very high.
All right.
So I just want to say, if they're watching, the country is behind them. And hopefully it's positivity. And they got Costa Rica, the softest of the teams, but I hope it doesn't put them too relaxed. Because Germany is not in a place where they're allowed to be relaxed by anything right now.
No.
They have to be at their best. And I'm hoping for a good win against Costa Rica. And then onwards to Croatia, wherever they play in the round of 16. Maybe I'm looking too far ahead. But that'll be a fun matchup. 98 revenge. Maybe, although the Croatians are looking pretty good. Or Belgium.
That's
so
definitely.
Eden Hazard can blow down his ass.
That is way. You get whoa. No.
Screw Belgium. What do you mean? Whoa.
We'll talk about all that.
Just Costa Rica.
We're not. No. This is way too fat. We're gonna. What do you think? What do you think about tomorrow? Just briefly, spend 1 minute on
USA Iran.
Who's gonna start? Who's gonna play striker for the US? They need a goal. They need a goal.
I was gonna say maybe Haji Wright.
But
Wright? Maybe Jesus Ferreira, because why not?
Who's gonna score? Who's gonna score the goal that they need?
Well, tomorrow it's gonna be USA Algeria all over again. Iran's going to be fucking 11 guys behind the ball.
Right, you're gonna stick with that.
It's Iran, baby. Just fuck them. That's wine.
It's Iran. All
In
right.
our language, we say Iran. It's not Deutschland. It's
That
Germany
is
in
not.
English.
That is not true. It's not a. That is
Fine,
you're making-
fine. Hold on.
You're
fine, I'll
being.
say it
You're
right.
making
Hold
a
on.
point, which is fine. If you're allowed to do,
Hold
but
on, let me
it's
do it right. Iran. Iran. Iran will have 11 guys behind the ball. Iran. And we're going to have to break them down, which we don't have the tools to really do. So we're going to have the ball. We're going to go at them the whole game. They're going to try to catch us on the counter. And I think we'll be good on the counter. And then it'll be 0-0, which they need. We don't. And it'll be at the 89th minute. And it's still 0-0.
It's going to be Landon Donovan.
They're
They're gonna sub in Landon Donovan.
Gonna
Special
come off.
exemption.
The field's going to come out of the booth. No, you know what? Maybe it'll be. Oh, you know who it'll be? I'm just going to be poetic with this one. Gio Reyna is going to come off the bench about 20, 30 minutes before the game. And Gio Reyna, just like Mexico, is going to run down the field like freaking Diego Maradona. And he's going to fucking get the winner in the 90th minute. And it'll be 1-0. Eric Winalda can blow it out of his ass. He's starting all this unnecessary drama with Gio Reyna and what's his face.
Oh, yeah.
All these fucking pot.
All right.
all these
That
potsters.
whole thing. Yeah,
That
there's
old
just
dog.
a lot of everybody.
Which is nothing, by the way. It's Eric Winalda just has a big mouth, and then the Guardian just takes it and makes an article out of it. Typical, echo chambers. Gio Reyna is going to come off the bench. He's going to score the winner, 1-0. Go USA, part 2. They're all going to pile him, and he'll get the 1-0. That's the 3 points they need. He'll get him through. That's my prediction for tomorrow. Striker, I think it'll be Jesus Ferreira. Why not? Because it's not like Josh Sargent and Haji Wright haven't covered themselves in glory, so let's play Jesus Ferreira. Why not? Who cares?
All right.
Anyway, how about what do you think? You think Iran's going to do it?
No idea. I think
Either. I just made that up. I didn't. It wasn't a
Yeah,
super
maybe.
accurate prediction. That was just my heart.
I don't think. I guess who would I play? I would play. I would start Josh Sargent again. That's what I would do.
For hold up play, I guess. Yeah.
And for muscle and for yeah. I have not seen anything. I don't watch the Turkish league. I haven't seen anything from Haji Wright in a US
jersey. Yeah, me
jersey
neither. No one
that
has,
makes
yeah.
me say like, oh, that guy's going to do it. I mean, maybe, but I think I
haven't seen super much from Sargent either, though. To be
I mean,
fair.
really, if we're gonna pick from the choices available, I would maybe
I'd
just
pick
play-
Ricardo Pepi.
I
but
would
he's
play
not on
Weah. I would play Weah at the 9 and just play somebody else on the wing. Like move Pulisic to the right and play Gio.
I agree.
on
I
the
think
left.
just like having the 3 guys for Germany in the midfield, we just need to put we have all these great wingers. Just have them be the front 3 and have them rotate. Have Weah, Pulisic, and let's say Brendan Aronson are the front 3. Let's have them all go up and just switch positions and rotate a lot, right? Because they're all comfortable in probably all 3 spots. Least comfortable is the 9. But if you don't have a 9, have them all just share the 9 duty. I don't know. That may be what I would do.
Except I said earlier in this very podcast that even if you're 9, that you need a 9, even if the 9 is not that great. So by that, if I just stick to my own prescription, then I would play Josh Sargent.
Well, then
That's
there
it.
you go. Well done. Any last thoughts or anything?
That's it.
Let's do Costa Rica. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
get
And
through. Let's get through.
Iran
Let's
and
go
Iran tomorrow.
And I run tomorrow. USA getting run tomorrow. Oh, we're gonna have a post-game show tomorrow, I guess, against Iran.
Yeah.
Believe, Bjorn. Believe. It's the season
I believe.
of believing. You gotta believe. All right. Watch Polar Express if you haven't. What's your
Oh, yeah.
assignment for Christmas?
Okay.
Do you have a 3D? You have a 4K 3D TV at home, right, with glasses?
No.
Well, go to Best Buy, grab yourself a 4K 3D TV.
No.
Go get Polar Express.
I have a
on
very
Ultra
nice.
Blu-ray.
We have a pretty good projector here. We have stuff.
Oh,
we
that
can do.
works. You don't have to watch it in 3D, I guess. Watch Polar Express. It's a good movie. It's about believing. All right, everybody.
right.
See y'all tomorrow. Where USA will beat Iran.
Nice.
Iran.